Hello there. So with all my shows I open one figure or two or maybe more per episode, and this week I have been inspired to open a figure by this man here. This is Buffy's Cave.
Oh, and on your video that I watched yesterday, you were saying, what's your favourite 3 3/4 inch figure? I have to say, a very special one for me would be the Kenner Darth Vader. The one in my cabinet. Basically, I remember getting it because I was at my secondary school. They used to hold toy and train fairs, and I was in there, and the man said to me, "Are you interested in Darth Vader?" I turned around, and there it was, with the lightsaber showing as well, and I wanted it. I had to have it. It cost me £1.50. So I remember that moment, so it's a special figure to me. So Darth Vader, absolutely awesome.
So, Ian has messaged me before, but he sent me a couple of messages, primarily because he'd been watching A New Hope, because last week was the 45th anniversary, and he happened to just mention in that message what you just heard there. And I got thinking about this shelf here, which I love this shelf. It's all about Obi-Wan versus Vader, or Ben, and very topical at the minute because that law has been broken. In my imagination and in the imagination of others, the last time these two faced before this bout on the Death Star, which ended with old Ben's demise. He sacrificed himself, obviously, became one with the Force. But in my mind, the last time they ever went toe-to-toe was on Mustafar. If you're not with me, you're my enemy, you know what I mean? And then he truly was a novice because he made mistakes at Anakin. To go up here, this is my sequel's lightsaber duels, and there they are there. I love that. Not my favourite lightsaber fight because it's one could argue a bit OTT, but it's still powerful, Friend v friend, brother be brother, master v apprentice, and so on. But now they've kind of broken that law. Now I am enjoying Obi-Wan, whatever you want to call it, the Kenobi series. I am loving it, but that's one thing I would never have really trespassed over that property there. I would have left it so that these two never fought in 20 years, but they've now broken that rule. But it was still cool, man. I got sucked up into that. So anyway, that's all been inspiring for me to add to that shelf there, because I want to let me go back on the shelf after all that waffle, right? This is a mix of a very wide range of figures. These are very modern, up-to-date 5POA from about 2016 onwards, from the Last Jedi line and Force Awakens line, the 5POA line of the end of the last decade. Then you've got, going back to the 90s here, Power of the Force 2. Then you've got this from the early 2000s, the Power of the Jedi line statues, the cinema scenes, if you like. Then you've got this here, which is going back to the end of the noughties, the 2008 era, especially with him there. The Legacy Collection Ben versus, this is from the actual Death Star briefing room, Vader, but with his back to you. He looks pretty good. Plus I like to have like for like, soft goods v soft goods, you know what I'm saying? So that's those two, and then you've got this one here, which is the Rogue One Vader. That's the one I just chose to have facing down, looking down to this. I love this. This was gifted to me. One of the first things I received in my PO box was this. Oh, that's just made up with that. Look at that. Previously I had like an old robe just on the floor, but it looked rubbish. That looks way better. Love it. And I'm missing something, man. I thought to myself, well, I've got a retro Vader. Not vintage, sadly. I'd love to have a vintage one, but I've got this retro collection here. I never opened it, never felt like I would ever put it on these shelves because I want the best example of a figure, most screen accurate and blah-de-blah. However, to make that shelf complete over there, I think it would be really nice to have Vader versus Ben, the classic Vader. Now he's in there somewhere. I've never opened before a retro collection figure. You're about to see me do it. Just the one today, just Vader. I've also actually yesterday bought an old Ben figure. Good condition, just without the lightsaber and without the cape. So I've bought myself another Repro cape, and I just so happen to have a spare one of these. Can you see that's an old Ben lightsaber? It's Repro. You can tell it's Repro. It's got that shine to it. It doesn't have that kind of solid, translucent, semi-translucent kind of quality to the plastic. It's got that gloss of it's been painted or whatever, but still, you know, that'll do me, man. I don't really want to have to. I could have paid. I might invest. I might invest in a proper Ben. I think around £35-40 I've been told to get one for, maybe. But for now, I just wanted to fill the gap and, you know, get Ben on there, you know. So watch this space. Oh, there he is. How about that? 1 out of 6, and I've pulled out the right figure. Fantastic. And this is Vader. So I'm opening this for you, Ian. Never opened a retro collection. You are watching history here. But I always remember as a kid. Hang on. Bit dusty. I loved this figure too, man. I remember looking at that sculpt thinking, that's Vader. So satisfied with that toy. The only thing I didn't like was the fact that he was a vinyl cape. Even as a kid, the vinyl capes used to do my head in. In the 80s, I always used to take them off. I hated them. Look at that. That's what I'm talking about. They've got a glow to them. The plastic they use is just awesome. You can't get with Repro. And damn it, Hasbro, why didn't you give us an old Ben? Why didn't you finish off the whole 12? Just because of the 3PO and the R2 and Vac Metal. You need to address that and do it, man. Do it! Instead of making all this Mandalorian stuff. You're doing that in retro. No! You shouldn't. Anyway, I'm going to mount the camera somehow. And I'm going to open this bad boy. Bear with me 1 moment, please, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, yeah, man. That opened like a dream. I do have a... Oh, it's just come straight out there off the back. I do have a wave. I keep carded, but also I'm really pleased that they're bringing these out again on unpunched cards. I've got to give this a sniff, man. Nah. It doesn't smell like it used to. They have a very distinct smell. In fact, if you open that 8080 over there, in there, let's go and do it now. Ugh. These aren't ones I owned as a kid. These are ones I bought in the secondary market. But if I give this a quick sniff now. Oh, that's the 80s, man. Smell-o-vision we need now. They've got like this petroleum smell. It's just awesome. Very, very distinct. That took me right back to 1980 something, man. Late 80s. I would have got hold of 85 onwards, maybe. I would have got the very tail end of the Star Wars figure line. Look at this though, man. Absolutely awesome. I do have another retro figure loose. It's Boba Fett. He's up over by the Slave One. Oh, sorry, no, the fire spray. I'm really sorry. I hope I haven't offended anybody. Sorry, the fire spray over there. Sure, yeah, No, the Slave One. I'm only joking. Over there, I do have, as I say, one retro collect. Oh my God, he's not there anymore. So, I'm sorry. I must have moved him. He's somewhere else. Darn it, he'll be somewhere. I can't remember. I must have used him for a video and not replaced him. Oh, there he is. He's right here. Look at that, man. Absolute quality, huh? Brilliant. Now, I know people who are nuts on figures like this, but I do have the... I can totally relate. I had these as a kid. Yeah, I was a lot younger than, say, the likes of the Black Dot Ewok. Look at this, man. I'm sorry, I haven't got anything to mount the bloody camera with. I'll have to just use this here. Lean it like that for a minute, and let's have a quick look at this figure. I'll keep the cape down, I think. If you put him up, he looks like Dracula. Wow. Look at this, man. Awesome. Careful with that tip. I'm going to have him on that shelf. I can't wait to get the Ben. Stay with me. I'm going to do a video on that when he arrives, and I'm going to show you how I'm going to repro him up. That's going to offend a lot of people, but come on. Reproduction. It's not like I'm going and selling it on as legit. It's just for my own personal, you know, satisfaction to get an old Ben on there one way or another, because, you know, Hasbro didn't put it in this line yet. I'm hoping they will. But, yeah, I will endeavour to find an original Ben, 100%. Thank you very much for watching that. There's not much more I can say about this figure other than the limbs and everything. Features. I mean, I used to love that as a kid. I used to look at those gloves and think that's Vader, because you see Vader's gloves a lot in that movie, especially when he's choking out that guy. Well, what have you done with those plans? We intercepted no transmission. This is a consular ship. We're on a diplomatic mission. And so forth. Brilliant figure. Love it. I'm so glad I've opened it. And do you know something else, ladies and gentlemen? Stay tuned, because I'm going to open the rest of these. Not now, because look how much waffle I've put into one. I've made this decision. I was telling a few people about this. I was telling Tim about it. Tim likes these loose. I never thought I would, but I'm into it now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have the Chewbacca and the Han. I'm going to put them somewhere, maybe either... Hang on, who's this? Oh, that's a Stormtrooper. Well, I know where he's going. I'm gonna just basically Easter egg them all around this room. Maybe Han and Chewie could fit in somewhere with the Tatooine lot. Maybe somewhere on the Death Star escape. See, I've got them over there. Death Star escape, Han and Chewie. Then my plan is to get the Vader with Ben. I might Easter egg this dude somewhere along with some other Stormtroopers. Maybe on there. That'd be funny. Oh, Layla. Princess Layla. That's Princess Leia, I'm joking. If you've ever seen the detectives in the UK, they call Princess Leia Layla by accident. And then I've got Luke. Again, never thought I would ever break him out for screen accuracy's sake. Luke and Leia, I'm thinking also, if I go over here, as you know, recently I bought the Swing to Freedom set. You know, I might find a way of just having bit of a run of figures. I've only got all that on one shelf. I could stretch that out, get Luke and Leia together. I never had Leia as a kid, man. I always, or did I have Luke? Never ever had that. I had a Bespin Luke, and I had Jedi Knight Luke. Because again, it was the late 80s that I got the tail end of the Return of the Jedi stuff. But that's probably why I never owned her or him. But you could get him. I think they re-released him on a Jedi card, but, you know, just never got it. I had mates who had them. Brilliant, man. Look at that. Can't wait. Oh, where's Han Solo? Should be in here as well. There he is. So we'll get Han and Chewie together. That'll be nice. Thank you for watching that, man. It's been a bit of an extended open and waffle, but I hope you have enjoyed it. And do stay tuned for all those other things I'm going to be bringing, including the Repro Ben and opening these. Can't wait, man. More to come. Stay tuned to Only One Kenobi. Only one.
Hey, only one. Just wanted to say that I'm a huge fan of the show, and I think you have an impressive collection. But my question is, did you ever collect any of the 2008 Indiana Jones lines of figures? If so, which ones did you get, and did you like the line or not? For me personally, it's probably my favorite non-Star Wars toy line, and I'm having a blast collecting them right now. The Temple of Doom Indy is pretty freaking awesome.
Hi Andre, yeah, well I've got a lot of content and you may have missed when I've ever talked about it because it's not very often, but I do have a few Indiana Joneses. Now I got these recently courtesy of Universal Collector Matt. He helped me get a few more and the plan was to open these. Haven't done that yet. If I'm going to open one, it will be this one. But in answer to your question, yeah, the line is a bit dusty actually. The line is amazing and I wish they had more lines like this for things like Alien. I'm a big fan of Alien 1979. God, that really is dusty. I'm so sorry. Just whip these off where they were kept. Now, that would be awesome. Just imagine that Ripley and Kane and Dallas and all that lot in that kind of quality. I know they do it in Reactor, whatever they're called. But this is the one I really want to open. I got this for a real bargain as well. Because there's something about River Phoenix, one of his last roles, wasn't it? But he's kind of got that rock and roll thing about him, like he's like the Kurt Cobain of Hollywood in a way. But yeah, that's young Indy. But I do have other ones. I've got this one, which I got for a bargain. Check that video out. Just search for Indiana Jones One Kenobi, you might find it. But I got this, which I opened. It's now in the barge, actually. I've got him inside there with Dr. Aphra, because she is also an archaeologist. And got that one. It's in there for £3, man, and it was in as good a condition as this. This one I got as part of the whole job lot. And I opened another one. I opened the Ark of the Covenant, excuse me. And the Indiana Jones that comes with him, the Ark, is just a little Easter egg inside Jabba's palace now, and the other Indy is just inside the Tusken. He's a Tusken, a bit like what happened with. God, I put him in there before I watched the Book of Boba Fett. Either he is a sympathizer like a Lawrence of Arabia, and he's now living with the Tuskens, or he's their captive. But that Indy that came with the Staff of Ra, or whatever it's called, is in there. So yeah, I do love them. Answer to your question, I do want to open more. Namely this one, and I do think there should be more lines available in 3 3/4 inch in high detail like these. I'd love it if they did things like Alien, as I say. The Indiana Jones figures are awesome, and let's have a quick look at Aphra in there. Bear with me. Oh no, he's out of there now. I'm so sorry. I did have him in there with Dr. Aphra. I actually emptied this whole barge for when I did the spotlight special on the barge recently, but still, I like to Easter egg them amongst my Star Wars collection, because as you know, Lucasfilm and the Indiana Jones and Lucas and everything, they all go hand in hand, man. Thanks for your question, man.
Hello mate, I hope you're well. Not sure what the social etiquette is for firing questions in for your Only One fans, but given our mutual love for 3.75, I thought I'd challenge you to pick out your favourite figure from the movie line, RIP. Specifically, I think maybe look at the Star Wars stories, so Rogue One and Solo. I think that they're two movie lines that are absolutely amazing as far as the figures are concerned. Obviously, like Lieutenant Cephala with the rocket launcher, Admiral Raddus, you've got Mud Troopers, you know, there's so many. Even that Moroff, I think, is a very cool toy. Big figure with that backpack. So yeah, I just thought it'd be quite cool to hear what figure you like from that line, you know, where either Solo or Rogue One or both, you know, whatever floats your boat. Just thought it'd be interesting to hear your thoughts on the movie line. Cheers mate, appreciate the effort.
Christian from Smuggler's Canyon, 50 Shades of Grey, jeans, or is it 50 pairs? Who knows? But that ain't no challenge at all. In fact, I did tell you in a message after you sent me your voice message, it's the social etiquette, mate. Oh, mate, what's the social etiquette? There's no social etiquette. Just give me a damn message, man. Just give me a message. That goes for anyone else. Send me a voice message and I will reply. And I'm really glad, Christian, that you mentioned specifically Rogue One and Solo. And I just want to show you this, man. Don't know if you know, Christian, but I have stayed faithful actually to 2 of the 5 POAs that we got, and specifically it was Rogue One and Solo. I've kept them because I shelved away, that doesn't make sense. I packed away all the stuff I had on my shelves for episodes 7, 8 and 9. Sadly I didn't have the space for it and they had to be the first to go, but we won't go into the other details of that other than, you know, I want to tell a story on these shelves and I didn't like the story they told, so it had to go. But yeah, these were the very best the 5 POA had to offer as far as I'm concerned. Well, this is the Rogue One stuff here, and they didn't have any 6 or 7 POAs in this line that I know of. I think it was basic 5 POA because it followed on from the Force Awakens, and they were lovely figures, Force Awakens. I'm very sad not to have at least those on my shelves still. And there I do have some fully articulated mixed in. Thankfully those troopers are the ones that are fully articulated, just like these guys, Christian. This is the point I've always tried to emphasize with you, man. This 5 POA thing that we discuss, that figure there is a background guy, but he is hindered with the fact that you can't cock his elbows. And if you're a trooper of all characters, you need to cock your elbows. That's 5 POA. He doesn't need to. He just needs to stand there. That's a big regret. Tobias, though, it's bittersweet, that one. I'm very thankful we do have him in this scale, but it's a shame he's not articulated like a 6-inch counterpart. But the biggest victim of this line of figures is, of course, my man Dryden Voss. But there you go, Christian. I always liked how all my Solo figures looked on one shelf, and so I kept it. I did have my Solo figures elsewhere at one stage. These are the prequels. I had them down there below the last, bloody hell, I can't even think. The Revenge of the Sith. The Revenge of the Sith, because it does chronologically follow that. But I'm glad to have them back up here where I first ever had them when I put these shelves up, because there's a good 10 years, I suppose, before the events of Rogue One. But still, it's chronologically sits here, doesn't it, Solo? But here's your man in the middle. He's a good figure, and even though I just have him in one pose, at least he can bend that important elbow. See, never liked troopers that you could standing with their arms by their side. That's my favourite figure, but that ain't 5 POA, so you don't want to hear from me on that. I'll tell you who my favourite figure is. Val, look how good that figure is of Val. And she's more than 5 POA as well. He would have been great fully articulated. She would have been great fully articulated. So even though I'm not answering your question, what's my favourite, we're getting into that discussion again, Christian. You see, these would have all been wonderful articulated, especially droids like that. But what was my favourite of all of them? That's a great figure. Really good. But they're not strictly 5 POA, are they? They're 7 or 9 in some cases, maybe. I don't know. That's a good figure as well. I'm just going to move on to here. This is actually one of my absolute favourites in terms of when you opened it, and I think a lot of people got the sensation when we first opened him or looked at him, we thought, man, that's great. And it's got all the textures and the looks that you get on a premium articulated figure, albeit the only hindrance he's got is the cape's quite nice actually. The plastic plugs and stuff, they were quite inferior looking plastic, almost like they are missing the paint they could have added. Same with his tubes there, very kind of not translucent, but almost kind of like, do you know what, I'm going to go somewhere else to explain my thoughts. Just bear with me, I'm going all over the place here, man. Bloody hell. In that Razor Crest, I still haven't put in the weaponry. These weapons here from the Razor Crest, they kind of look, these ones here, these little kind of thermal detonators here, they're weird. They look like they're made out of mint or candy or something. They've got that shiny look to them, but they're not silver. So it's almost like they've forgotten to paint them. And that blaster there as well. I never could understand why that had happened, but that's almost like what the 5 POA line had, because they were probably trying to save a little bit of money there. So there you are, Christian. I thought I'd at least, I have no idea if I've answered your questions, although I'm very thankful you mentioned Rogue One and Solo, because they were my absolute favourites. And I'm just glad to show you the shelves I now have them on, and they do still survive up there. But sadly, episodes 7 and 8 are now gone. Brett McLeod from Brett on Fet.
Only one. What's up, man? It's been a while since I reached out to you, so I wanted to leave a question for your show. I want to know, how can I convince you to change your mind about those Mandalorian super commandos? The captain, the one with the horns, and now the newly released regular commandos that go under him, because I think if you were to get those guys and put them with your loose setup with a Clone Wars Season 7 Darth Maul commanding that army, that would be an awesome setup for your room. You gotta do it, man. Please change your mind about those guys. They look awesome. Anyways, take care.
Hey, Brett, man, you don't have to convince me. I'm already sold on it, really. You know, I like the idea. I like the figures, man. They are great. In fact, I think if you watch my reaction, I say this is a good figure, but all I was trying to say was I just thought it was too much of a gimmick for them to be wearing horns, you know what I mean? Mocking literally how he looked. If they had the colour scheme, I think one of them doesn't have horns. They just have, you know, his red, black and silver motif. But man, they are great looking figures. And hell, you know, I love the uniformity of an army, you know what I mean? Like, look at that. You've got the 212th over there, led by Cody, and you've got the standard troopers, and then, of course, you've got the airborne trooper as well. He's got his own style, but no. I'd have to have another look at him again to see who's who, because one is a super commando, and then the other ones have got the horns on the top. But no, now I've got this figure especially. I can't wait to have all of those guys standing with him. Oh my god, yes! So I can't wait to get hold of those figures, but I don't know how many I'm going to buy though. I actually, funnily enough, ironically, at the end of the day, I bought a load of the Ahsokas, even though I'd had a few words about them. The Ahsoka 501st, whatever they're called. Have they got a specific Legion name? Now, for me, a 501st is 501, and he looks like this. But obviously, these fellas had painted their helmets to look like Ahsoka, and I just thought that was almost a form of idolization, you know? Why would they want to... You know, is that just ultimate respect? It's just so ironic given what the clones do in the end, but it's just, I don't know, you know, it's almost like I think it goes back to my thing with Mace Windu, you know, I love Samuel L. Jackson, and I know why he got that purple lightsaber. It was a little bit of a banter or whatever with George Lucas, and he said, could I get purple? You might get purple. You know, he said to him, you might get purple, and he did. And that's because it's his favourite colour, but then, because I know that inside scoop, and we all know that, the fact that they then have Clone Wars ships and troopers wearing purple, I don't buy it. Just because he's got a purple lightsaber, just because the actor who plays that character likes purple, the whole army has to be purple, that's rubbish. It's got nothing to do with it. It just happens to be the crystal that Mace Windu uses. And so to that day, I've never been interested in a starfighter for Mace Windu or anything like that, even though if I did get one, or one came by at a cheap price, I'd probably get it, but you know, it's just too much of a gimmick. But I tell you what, this is a great figure, the best Maul I've ever seen, and I can't wait to flank him with some of those troopers that go with him that suit the season 7 scenario, you know, the characters. So yeah, man, don't you worry, man, I'm sold. If you would like to be featured in the next show, then leave a brief voicemail, be it a question or an opinion of your own, at Only One Kenobi, Facebook and Instagram. Links in the description. So, ladies and gentlemen, another show has come and gone. Thank you for watching, especially the people who watch every week live on the premiere. And if you are watching on the catch-up as well, igualmente. Is that the right word? Igualmente? Equally. Just keep it English. Keep it on English. Yeah, thank you for watching as well. And also just a couple of shout-outs to Clayton Lancaster, wherever you are, man. I hope you are well. You have been an amazing supporter right from the beginning of my channel on Patreon. So let me know you are still there, man. I know you've changed your name on YouTube, but I probably could find you on a live stream because you are the only, well, apart from La Ravi, I only have 2 moderators. 3 now, actually, including Tony Z. So if you are there, Clayton, I will know who you are, because you'll have a spanner next to your name. You tool. I'm only joking. No, man, just wanted to tip my hat to you. Hope you are well wherever you are. And also, thank you again for all your support. Another quick mention now to Solo Shot First. My mate Mike has just dropped a video, a really good one, of IB3D, Ian Butler, and his 3D printed dioramas. An awesome diorama of the Armourer. think Mike has painted his and weathered his himself. Although I think Ian will do it for you if you pay a little extra, but still, check his video out, man. Awesome piece. I might look to get one of these myself. I do have something coming from Ian very soon. I don't want to say too much more. I want to keep that a surprise, but still, stay tuned. You know what to do. Make sure you are subscribed and all of that, but still, brilliant 3D printer. And also check out Mike's channel, man. Give him a view. His video's awesome and his channel's great, man. So show him some love over there. Thank you for listening. That's the final word. I have been only one Kenobi. Only one. You are my one and Obi's the only one fans. Thanks for watching.